Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Patrons video that I'm making for Wudi as part of their custom monthly music review. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track from an act named Ryoku Shaka titled Mela, live video sing-along tour 2020 for last piece. So we're gonna listen through this track from start till finish and we're gonna hear what we think. Let's go. Ryoku Shoku Shakai, should I say. Oh, it's nice and upbeat and charismatic. Actually, I don't know if I got the syncing right on the clapping, so I might not clap. But I have to figure that out. I have to figure out the syncing on this video. Sounds great with the drums glissando on the piano and the vocals. There aren't any subtitles on this. I was just checking that. I mean, I'm gonna go back a little bit. I swear I won't pause too much because I know that irritates people. I just want to give a shout out to how tight the performance is. I love the guitars and bass, how they came in just before that chorus part. And now we've just got those same musicians doing na 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 and helping out the lead. Everyone's in tune. The chemistry's tight. We'll go back a little bit so that we can enjoy this next part. Boom. There we go. Enjoy that race. Great use of process, man. I'm getting chills. That was such a satisfying lead section there. We had the guitars taking precedent. And I wouldn't have expected the bass to come in there as a foil in at upper range. It's such a thing for debate, having the bass go up that high, especially when the guitar is there, but they still stack well in terms of octaves on top of each other. Man, that was wonderful, dude. Oh, great use of synths there, man. That was wonderful, man. Ooh, sultry. Oh man, they're so tight. It's just so satisfying. Those chord changes within that interlude section, that slow build again back into the forte of the hook. And then for it to come down again. You almost know it's probably going to be a middle 8 or something like that, but just, this is a really tight performance. Everyone's having a great time. This is what you want from a live situation, dude. It's adorable. It's such good-natured music. It's so full of hope and vibrant. That sort of key synthy solo thing before the interlude was wonderful. There's a lot to appreciate here. I just love the voicings and the chemistry, man. I love the tension with the bass line there. It's great. That was wonderful, man. A little bass solo at the end. They nailed it. They fucking nailed it, man. I excuse the language. They nailed it. That is so good. I haven't cried like a baby in such a long time, but that got me to tears. That was some of the most beautiful music, man. I love it. I love that song. Thank you, Wudi. I loved it. And welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Ryo Kyoshoku Shakai, titled Mela. What did I think this track was about? I'm not sure. I don't know what the track is about, but I would say from how it sounded, let's just have a bit of fun with this. I'd say from how it sounded, it was a celebration of something. It kind of sounded like a celebration of life, if I'm honest. Something we were happy for, something had hope for the future. It was incredibly positive and uplifting with the way that it was, and I adore it for that. I don't think that I've heard something quite this genuine in this way of approaching the mood of a track in quite a while. You know, you can do happy stuff, but it can be cheesy. And this was not cheesy. They managed to combine these phenomenal jazzy elements within this with the brass, with some really slick rock parts with the sort of neo-soulish kind of increments as well. And it's just a lovely combination of ingredients within this mix that has the singer as the icing on the cake. Now, I understand that most of the band was doing backing vocals as well. They did a phenomenal job. But the lady vocalist in this band was wonderful. She had a great vocal technique. She was incredibly charismatic, fantastic stage presence there, interacting with the crowd, getting them pumped, you know. Lots of effort put in there. And it wasn't just that we chose really interesting melodies to put over top of everything else. It was also the fact that we just slammed it, man. We slammed it. We aced it. We absolutely aced not only the performance and the note choices and how they harmonize with the rest of the arrangement, but it was also just the way that we emoted throughout it, and we actually did it, you know? And the choruses were more upbeat and very heartfelt, but in the interlude section where things got a bit quieter, we were uncertain or unsure, we acted like that. And that's so powerful, because you cannot just assume that the listener will get the story from the lyrics alone. You've got to sell it and have a complete performance. There needs to be drama in order for a live performance especially to be engaging. And when you have got the ability to perform in front of people, make the most of it. Make it a complete cohesive experience. And that's what Ryo Kyoshoku, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to butcher it, Ryo Kyoshoku Shakai, that's what they tried to do there. And it was fantastic. I'm so glad I got to listen to this today. In addition to that, we had the situation where not only was the song really amazing to listen to just through its theme, I suppose I've already talked about the theme by virtue of that. The vocals were tight as well as the backing parts. We also had a wonderful situation with the track at 4:48 with there's just so much variety in there. From the drums, the bass, the guitars, the key parts, the synth parts, the brass there as well that we had occasionally. There are a lot of different ingredients within this mix, and they all served a valiant purpose. The drums were incredibly articulate, rolling between those 8th and 16th grooves at a constant pace there, highlighting the chord note accents, but also showing a bit of showmanship and allowing ourselves to explore the drum kit a bit more when there were fills and transitions to do. The bass line was exploring that fretboard as well as highlighting the root notes, and was even had some little solo parts in there, like in that guitar part and at the end where they explored the pentatonics, and that was great. The guitars were wonderful there with the bar chords, the harmonies we had there. The solo section as well was very articulate and well phrased and sounded like it was trying to be the fill-in for the vocals, which is kind of what a guitar solo needs to do, unless you're trying to be a little bit over the top with it, which can work sometimes. But I think here, if this had a shred solo, it just wouldn't have worked. It was more about the groove and the pulse of it, and we played to that. And I love the chemistry between the guitar and bassists here. It was wonderful. It was obvious, and it was awesome. And we had the keys, great articulation of the various triads there. Had fantastic glissandos to go between sections there. Great dynamic range performance there as well. And we had that mid to high range resonance that sparkled on top of the drums and bass, which is very welcome. The brass highlighted certain elements there. That was very welcome there. And then finally we had the synthy part there just before that interlude, which was very well versed. And I'm stoked that it occurred there as an alternative texture. Again, the theme is very uplifting and positive and full of hope for the future, and I adore it for that. I think it's a really well written and well performed track. The performance was tight, without a note out of place, and they're clearly a band that deserves the success that they've achieved. And I mean, finally, the studio recording, mixing, and mastering was wonderful. I think that they did a great job of expressing themselves to the audience, not only through the live performance, but also just it was just tight on the desk, man. The vocals nice and present, the guitars, bass, drums, etc. All the instruments had a great resonance to them, were nicely filtered and EQ'd. Within the frequency spectrum, there were no weird resonant frequencies there. It was nice and wide in the stereo field, things dotted around there, and you could hear everything clearly, and it was nice and easy to understand what was going on there. There was dynamic range to it as well. Things weren't crushed in the master bus, so that was good as well, because if everything is the same loudness all the time, it becomes less interesting and you lose focus, And then finally, with that dynamic range and leveling being sorted, it was nice line without pumping, so the bus compression and limiting was handled really well. And I mean, this is commercial grade live performance. They sound like they're a big band. And again, I'm really glad that I got to listen to more of this act, because this is my review of this track from Ryokuo Shoku Shakai, right? With Mela. And hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll get the name one day. I'm trying. I'm genuinely trying. Hopefully not too much. I don't want to irritate people, but I am trying. Hopefully you enjoyed the track, though. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and a YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SC Patrons video. Spiderhands out.